Apologies for all the technical errors from our side. Something didn't work and the mic system was not working, but somehow it started functioning again. Thank you for bearing with us. Hare Krishna. So, so today is a special program. This is just to showcase all the wonderful offerings we've been receiving for the Haritoshanam program. So, Haritoshanam is a Janmastami contest, and the whole purpose of this is to inspire all devotees to utilize their talents, to absorb their mind, senses, and everything in glorifying the Supreme Lord. So, after millions of births, does a person come to surrender to the lotus feet of Krishna? It is stated in Bhagavad Gita, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudevam Sarvamiti Sa Mahatma Sudurlabhaha. So, a person who comes to take shelter of Krishna is very, very rare. Sa Mahatma Sudurlabha. It's very difficult to find such a person. So, all of you here are those real special souls who have really come to Krishna consciousness and utilizing your talents to glorify the Supreme Lord. So, it's been such a great pleasure to receive all the entries in all the different categories of singing, painting, essay writing, and craft work. And it's been truly a pressure. I mean, pressure and pleasure. Pressure because everything was good and it was so difficult for me to judge. So I took shelter of all my dear God sisters, and they have all who are as judges who have just gone through all your works and who have after thorough uh, work, they have decided which are the best. So, firstly, I want to thank all the contestants for your heartful participation. Each of your work was such a delight. I'm sure it must have pleased the Supreme Lord, Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani so much for the kind of heartful efforts that you have put in. So, for each of the categories, I have requested my own dear God sisters to be the judges. In the category of essay writing, I've requested Her Grace Karuna Radhika Mataji. For cooking, I have requested Her Grace Anuradha Priya Mataji. Then for craft work, I've requested Her Grace Ananga Sundari Mataji. For singing, I've requested Namrita Mataji. And painting, it was my sister who actually, she's an artist. But it will be explained in detail by my dear friend Lakshmi. And the results will be announced by Her Grace Sakhi Radhika Mataji. So I cordially invite all dear devotees who have come, invested their valuable time to go through all the contestants' work and really give the results. So I request first Her Grace Karuna Radhika Mataji to please grace the YouTube. Haribol Mataji, welcome.
Hare
Welcome to the
Krishna,
show.
Mataji.
And please kindly enlighten us about what it actually is to write for Krishna, for the pleasure of Krishna. Kindly enlighten us.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much for inviting me on this August forum, which I joined kind of late. So thank you again, and it was wonderful to read all the essays. So I think it was more of a purification and remembrance for me. I may not be qualified to do it, but I had a great time reading all the essays. So coming to service, writing as a service. Actually, I myself never planned on to write anything for service, but I think whatever opportunity we get, we should take it. Like Maharaj says. So when we're chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, we are asking for service. So I think whatever service comes our way, we should take it, and that's kind of how it happened with me. And I could not refuse this service for you too, Mataji. So, like Mataji, Maharaj always says, what is service? Service is actually love. What Radhanath Maharaj says is service is love. So, if you love somebody, you have to serve them. So, it's not enough to say, somebody every day, like say you're going to your spouse and saying, I love you, and then you're not serving food or anything. So, that's not service. Service means to love somebody. And I think being in Krishna consciousness with our heart enlightened with Krishna, I think service has become automatic for all of us, and that's how it should be. So the specialty with our Krishna consciousness is that in Bhakti Yoga, again, Maharaj says that service should be without any expectations. Actually, that's how we define service. I mean, a material service may be different, but in Bhakti, our service means it should be without any expectation. And this is also different from, Jnana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, where we are at least expecting some joy from the service we are doing. But in Bhakti Yoga, I think the product is again service. So we are serving the Lord and asking for more service. So I think that's the beauty of Bhakti Yoga. And all of you Matajis, I think as you go down the road, you'll realize, and we already feel the happiness in serving the Lord. So that will continue, and if anything, will increase over time for all of you Matajis. So I thank you everybody for the enthusiastic participation in all of the faculties. So just a little bit about writing as a service. Actually, I wanted to mention that anything that we do without expecting a result, anything for the pleasure of the Lord will become service. So it is not that all of us have to do a particular service. So whatever we are good at, we can always use it for the service of the Lord. Like it said in Srimad Bhagavatam, it says that kayena vacha manasendriyarva buddhyatmanava prakrite swabhava karoti yatyat sakalam parasmai narayaneti samapayami. So what it means is whatever is our nature, it could be all of us have a personal nature. Some of us may have a talent in cooking, some of us may be singing, some of us may be painting, but whatever is our nature, we can always serve the Lord with both our mind, body, intellect, and everything. So whatever talents we have, we should offer it to the Lord. So Narayanati Samarpayami. So that is the bottom line. So when you serve the Lord, I think it cannot go wrong. So so that's why I wanted to let everybody know that service in any form is service. So sometimes even being for many years in Krishna consciousness, we may feel I'm not good in say preaching. I kind of started out preaching, but then I think I kind of slowed down, and then some of this writing services came, so I took that up because it was convenient, I think, with my daily routine. So I took that up. But whatever it may be, service is always service to the Lord. So there's no need to feel that, I don't have this particular talent or that particular talent. And actually, Krishna is pleased by the most menial service. So the more menial it is, I think we give more pleasure to Krishna. So there's absolutely no reason to feel that, we may not have one particular talent. So all of you are doing good that way. So as coming to writing as a service, like I said, like any other service, writing is also a wonderful, wonderful service. So if you look at Krishna as writing, as whatever you write, if you're thinking that Krishna is appearing as a message, so I think that's how we should see it. That Krishna is appearing in our message, is a literary incarnation, as we all know. So writing gives us an opportunity to really glorify the Lord. So there are so many ways we can glorify by beautiful words and describing beautiful pastimes of Krishna. So it's a very wonderful way of glorification. And somehow in writing, I also feel connected to the Lord, because you're so absorbed in understanding his pastimes and understanding his nature, and to put it in words, we really make good effort, so we glorify the Lord appropriately. And so actually writing has, maybe I can say, 5 ways you can say it as a write, WRITE. So for W means worship. So there is worship in writing. Second, R would stand for realization. So I think as you write, before writing, you have to read also a lot. You have to understand. You have to get a lot of knowledge before you write. And while in the process of writing, we do get many realizations, and it is a very good way to remember the Lord. So R can stand for realization and remembrance. Then the I of the write would be introspection. So as we are writing, we have to introspect on where we are standing in our bhakti, and what is it that we can do better for the Lord. And the T of write would be therapy. It acts as a therapy for us. So in the process of writing, we realize we are not doing something appropriately. We have an opportunity to correct ourselves. And then E would be for explanation. And there are many ways you can explain a particular thing about the law. So all these features are possible in writing. And For me, I've had opportunity to write a few things. Actually, like I said, it's somebody's nature. So my nature, somehow I have been used to writing. So when I was small, my dad used to call me to correct his projects. So he used to write. He's an engineer, so he used to write his projects. It was a very civil engineering kind of a technical thing. But for the English and the grammatical errors, he used to call me to make the corrections. So that's how it started, I think. And when I went into medicine, and I had fellows under me who trained, so I used to correct their thesis papers. So they used to come to me for editing some of these thesis works, and that's how I got into writing. And then again, as a physician, I did a lot of research and had some articles submitted in the scientific journals. So that also gave me a lot of practice to writing. And more recently, I think I've had the opportunity to write for Gita contest, questions from the Bhagavad Gita. So I framed some of the questions in the multiple choice answers. And then I was very, very fortunate also to be able to transcribe some of Maharaj's lectures. So they send YouTube lectures from which I have to transcribe and then choose, relevant portions that are sent as nectar drops of Maharaj. So I feel very, very grateful. And there's so much of hearing involved because I'm hearing what Maharaj is saying and absorbing involved. And then very close attention. When I listen to a lecture, maybe it's superficial or cursory, but when you have to actually sit and write every word that Maharaj says, it's really wonderful. So every word that he's saying, I have to absorb and then rewrite and then think about what he said, then divide them into paragraphs and topic wise, and then take out some quotes that Maharaj's quotes are there. So we take this out. So it's all been very, very wonderful. And, actually, I love writing, but don't have enough time. So hopefully in the future I'll be able to write some. I wrote how I came to Krishna consciousness in the Back to Godhead magazine. So that's one article I was able to write. So hopefully we'll get more of the service. And in reading the essays of all the contestants, like I was telling Ujjwala Mataji, it's very difficult. So everybody did a beautiful job. They've written, Krishna's pastimes beautifully in their own words. Some of them have described their realizations. Some of them said how they feel about being in Krishna consciousness. So it was a good job by everybody. So it was really hard for me to do. So I had to choose the winners. So I chose, but everybody deserves the prize, Mataji. So because I was told to pick, I picked. So I think everybody who attempted is important as a winner, because ultimately whatever the product comes, Krishna is bhavagrahi. So he realizes your intent. He realizes your intent at any small attempt you want to glorify him and spend time in his remembrance is remembered by the Lord. So all of you are winners. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. It's really wonderful to hear from you. So for those of you who don't know, Her Grace Karuna Radhika Mataji, she is she works with Apollo Hospitals as a neonatal cardiologist, and Mataji is a very senior doctor there. And Mataji is a very senior and very amazing devotee. She's inspiration to so many, and I take a lot of inspiration from the example of Mataji. And Mataji has beautiful deities at home, Shishi Radha Shamsundar, whom she serves with so much love and devotion. So, and thank you, Mataji. The acronym DRITE is wonderful. And
it's actually not my original. The Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was mentioning this.
Yes, Mataji. And also, I was really inspired. That little service that you had rendered to your father must have surely received, a lot of blessings. So that's how the whole talent of writing is right now, used for the glorification of the Lord and for enlightening many of us. So this little service which we render, to our superiors or like to our father, to our parents, I've seen all the while that they have tremendous effect. And with your example, I could really see it once again. So thank you so much, Matri. Thanks a lot for all that you have
Thank you.
shared. Hari Bol. So, yes. So, to all the participants who have written the essays, Yes, as Mataji said, they were all wonderful. Each of them was unique in terms of what has been narrated and in terms of the realizations that you have shared through your writing and the writing style, etc., etc. So the winners will be announced towards the end by Her Grace Sakhi Radhika Mataji. So uh, right now we are having with us Her Grace Ananga Sundari Mataji. She will tell something about craft work. So Mataji has been she's a very senior devotee and she's taken up to Krishna consciousness in the United States of America. She has a wonderful daughter, Shuka Samhita. In fact, she has so much of love for Srimad Bhagavatam that when her daughter was born, she named her after Srimad Bhagavatam as Shuka Samhita. So Mataji, in my personal observation, I had seen her. She has a lot of creativity in the way she expresses. She does beautiful rangolis, and her daughter is a wonderful artist. She does a lot of paintings, and each of her paintings speak a lot. So I've requested Ananga Sundari Mataji to please go through the craft work and declare the results. So I invite Her Grace Ananga Sundari Mataji to the show. Yes, she's coming. So it is really wonderful, actually. Through this program, I could get the association of all of you, and also at the same time, going through all the works of the contestants. It's been challenging at times because it's hard to decide who's the best. But then it was very enlivening to see the amount of work that everybody has put in. So it's a wonderful experience. It's the first time we have conducted an e-contest like this. All thanks to lockdown. It's opening up many doors. In fact, even my cousins, my sisters, they're also happy with me that we're all getting so bored with lockdown, and you're doing something nice, and you're having good fun. So, so making the best of lockdown, trying to do something, and Janmastami has especially been celebrated in a very unique way. I mean, when we see the abhisheks all over the world in different temples, everybody's doing the abhishek with the mouth mask. So it's a Janmashtami probably we have never witnessed ever in the past. So and all the altar decorations that each of you have sent has been so beautiful and so wonderful, and it's like you've all individually and collectively made your homes into temple with that beautiful decoration with the flowers, the incense, the bhoga offerings that you have made. It's tremendous, it's amazing. This is the power of sangha. So when we are alone by ourselves, it's difficult to carry on with our Krishna consciousness. But when with all the negatives of the lockdown, it has the positive dimension of uniting us all through technology like never before. So with this, yes. So each of your the altar decorations has been unique and beautiful. Some of you had Laddu Gopal, and some of you had the plaster of Paris. And if you see today morning, if you whoever is in the group, the kind of wonderful video which Her Grace Karuna Radhika Mataji has sent about her altar, starting with the lotus footprints of Krishna and then all the way to the altar, and then the altar opens, and then the beautiful, gracious darshan of Sri Radha Shamsundar. I wanted to show that video to you actually in the beginning itself, and I thought that's how I would take you to the house of Her Grace Karuna Radhika Mataji and then introduce you to Mataji. But somehow, because of the whole technical issues, we couldn't do that. I will definitely share with you the beautiful Janmashtami celebration clipping of Mataji at her home. And yes, so and then it was the appearance day of Srila Prabhupada the next day, that's yesterday. And devotees from all over the world have shared their offerings, and especially Vyas Puja is an occasion when every disciple expresses their gratitude, because if not for Srila Prabhupada, we wouldn't have had this community where we could have understood actually what is the goal of life, and not just knowing it, but how to attain it. It is rare that a person, I mean, as I discussed in the earlier, in the introduction, it's rare that a soul comes to Krishna consciousness. It's because rarely anybody even inquires about what is the goal of life. Even if the person inquires, rarely does he find the right answer, because there are so many misleading philosophies flooding all over the world and through all fake religions and books. But then it's by the grace and mercy of Srila Prabhupada that through an authentic parampara, we are receiving the transcendental knowledge in such an authentic way. So we can never ever even begin to understand what is the contribution of Srila Prabhupada in our lives. It's unique. It's even to fathom what is the depth of, forget the depth, even the, the superficial level, to even understand what it is, it takes lifetimes. So it's just infinite compassion of a pure devotee, which is purely out of his love for Lord Krishna and compassion for everyone. So it is like when Srila Prabhupada, yesterday one devotee was making an offering to Srila Prabhupada. He was saying that when Prabhupada has taken all these efforts, when he has suffered two heart attacks in Jaladuta, when he was waiting at the steps of Srimati Murarji, it is for me, it is for you and me. So everybody has to think it's for me that Srila Prabhupada did it. It is for me Srila Prabhupada has undergone all the difficulties and hardships. Yes. So it is purely by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada that we have received this gift of Krishna consciousness in our lives. And by his mercy, we should take this forward. Hence the name Bhaktilata Care. Because it is said, uh, Gu- Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. By the mercy of Guru and Krishna, one receives the seed of devotion in life. So once its seed of devotion is received, it becomes a creeper called the Bhakti Lata. So, and to take care of that Bhakti Lata is a duty of every disciple. So that is the reason we have named this group Bhakti Lata Care, taking care of the Bhakti Lata creeper that has sprouted out of the Bhakti Lata bija that has been blessed to us by Guru and Krishna. So going ahead. Yes. Yes, so we will go ahead with our program. I wish to invite Namrata Mataji. Namrata Mataji is actually a great inspiration for all of you who are in Hyderabad temple. She's very well known for her beautiful singing for in front of the deities. And Mataji is a talented cook. She's multi-talented. I mean, recently I have read some of her answers to some value education contests. Just amazing. So Mataji is a very dynamic personality, source of great inspiration to many, and I heartily welcome Namrata Mataji. And please tell us something about what it really is to sing for the Lord. Mataji, cordially
Hare
invite you. Hare
Thank you
Krishna.
so much for inviting me, Mataji. I really don't deserve to be here, and I'm not at all qualified to be a judge in this. Actually, I'm neither a trained Kirtaniya nor do I have the proper devotion and mood to be actually singing. But yes, Sankirtana is something which really attracted me to this movement, and that's my life and soul. That's one thing I always have this desire in my heart. Whenever I die, whenever I leave my body, I should have powerful Sankirtana going around me, all pure devotees. And if I am in the position, I would love to sing for the Lord and leave my body. So that's my inspiration. So moving on to this, before that, I would just like to pray. Om Agnanatamiranthasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So, singing for the Lord, it's not just an entertainment, but it's actually a blissful spiritual sadhana. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propagated this Sankirtana movement, and Japa is a one to one relationship with the Lord. But Sankirtana It is a movement where many devotees, the purity and the vibrations of many devotees come to one place, and the joy and ananda that we experience, it increases manifold times, and it benefits many species. Japa will benefit you, and it is one-to-one relationship with the Lord. But Sankirtana, through a Sankirtana, a Nagar Sankirtana or a Rath Yatra, by singing, there are so many species which are benefited, whether knowingly or unknowingly. It may be reptiles, it may be animals, as we see in Jharkhand Leela of Lord Chaitanya. Even the animals were benefited by the sound vibrations that they heard from the mouth of a pure devotee. So, in a prayer of Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma says that the quality of the devotees in the spiritual world is Katha Ganam Natyam Gamanapapi Vamsi Priya Sakhi. So, in which he says that every word that is uttered by the devotees, there is a song. They don't just speak, they sing. They don't just walk, they dance. And the flute is the favorite attendant of the Lord. We all know how Krishna is the greatest musician of the whole world, and there is an inseparable relationship of Lord Krishna with the flute. When he would play the flute, the entire world would come to a standstill. The entire Vraja would be mesmerized. They would be totally enchanted by his flute. The rocks would melt. The animals would all be standing still and hearing his flute. Everyone's heart would be totally melted. We all know that one of the prime qualities, 25 qualities of Radha Rani is Sangeeta Prasara Abhigna, which means she was an expert singer. She could expand the singing and song. So that was one of her very good quality, which would really attract Lord Krishna towards him. So when we want to attract Lord Krishna towards us, this is one of the way. We can sing the beautiful bhajans which have been created, written by our previous acharyas, in which they have actually poured their heart and soul. Actually, the Vaishnava bhajans written by our previous acharyas are PhD in bhakti. When we read them, understand them, and when we sing them, we really can feel the mood of bhakti. So, what should be the mood when we are singing? So, for that, I would just tell a short story. We all know about Akbar and Tansen. Tansen was a very famous singer. When he would sing Rag Malhar, rains would come down. When he would sing Rag Deepak, the lamps would lighten up. So, one day, Akbar got really curious. He asked, when you are such a wonderful singer, I want to hear your guru. He must be much far better than you. Then Tansen said, but he would not appear in the court and sing for you. If you really want to hear him, you have to come with me in the common attire, and we have to hear him secretly. So they all planned it that way, and they went to his hermitage, who was Sant Haridas, at the dead of the night, and secretly Akbar happened to sing his beautiful soulful bhajans dedicated to Lord Krishna. And as soon as he heard that, he totally was enchanted. He was speechless. He was dumbfounded when he heard such a beautiful bhajan. And while coming back, he asked Tansen, why can't you sing so beautifully as your guru? You have learned from him. And he's totally outstanding and so divine. And Tansen had one sentence, one statement which is very profound. He said, I sing for you in your court, but my guru sings in the court of the Supreme Lord. That is the difference. So when we sing, we have to sing not to impress others, but to express our love towards Krishna. Because when we express our love, only then it will have a transformation effect on others. You all have heard this. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So this was one tune by one man, Srila Prabhupada, one Mahamantra, which took the entire world by storm of bhakti. It transformed so many hearts. Until date, It is the most popular tune of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, which has been heard by maximum people all over the world, and it has heart-changing capabilities. Why? Because it is not the instruments, it is not the training that is really important, but what is more important is the purity, the sincerity, the knowledge, and the experience, and the mood to serve and please our acharyas, our guru, and the supreme Lord. So whenever we want to please the Lord, this is most important. It is not important that we are trained or not, we are highly great classical singers. It doesn't really matter. What really matters is how sincerely we are trying to please the Lord. Only then our kirtan will have that spiritual effectiveness. So even Srila Prabhupada was very particular. He did not like very extended tunes of Mahamantra. He would like more Mahamantra to be packed in one tune. Because the very, I have seen many devotees, many people who sing very highly difficult classical tunes, which might not be very easily followable by other people. So the very purpose of the kirtan is we should be able to inspire more people to chant along with us. So we have to be very careful with the audience that we have. So whatever bhajan or kirtan that we are singing, they should be able to relate with us. They should be, inspired to sing along with us. So it shouldn't be something, we may try to impress them with our capabilities, but that is not the purpose when we are singing for the Lord. We want to inspire more people to chant the holy name of the Lord. So finally, I would like to say one most important thing which was said by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Shikshashtakam, which means that the Sankirtan moment is the prime benediction for the humanity at the large. It increases the transcendental bliss. It is a life of transcendental knowledge, and it enables us to taste the nectar to the full. So it goes like this. आनन्दाम्बुधिवर्धनं प्रतिपदं पूर्णात्मिता स्वादनम् सर्वात्मस्नपरं परं विजयते श्रीकृष्ण सङ्कीर्तनम्. Thank you all so much. It was very difficult task to select the winner because everyone had put their heart and soul into their kirtans. So it is not that, everyone can be a good singer. It doesn't really matter. But we can always sing in front of our deities at our home. It doesn't really mean, it's not necessary that everyone has to be a lead singer, right? But we can always serve the Lord by singing because that's what Krishna is attracted to. And it's a very, he has endowed everyone with different talents, as Mataji was telling. Everyone has got special skills and special talents. So we have to use it to the best of capability to serve the Lord. So thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Namrata Mataji. It was so wonderful to learn about what it actually means to sing for the Lord and not for ourselves. The example of Akbar singing and Tansen singing, Akbar for the king and Tansen for the Lord. Sorry, Tansen, Tansen for the king and Tansen's guru for the Lord. That's been such a striking example. And and the best part is how, what you've narrated about Srila Prabhupada, one single tune, but it still rocks the heart of every person with tremendous devotion. So thanks a lot for sharing your experience with Kirtan. So Kirtaniya Sadahari. Jai. So yes. Now I request Her Grace Anangasundari Mataji to please kindly tell us about what you feel with the craft work and how should we go about it. Yes,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hearty,
Please
yes.
accept my humble obeisances, everybody. I congratulate everyone who has participated in everything, like all utilizing all their talents and absorbing themselves, thinking about Krishna and how to please Krishna. They have used all their talents. So in this craft work, really it was very tough time for me, to judge one, two, and three like that. But I have seen the effort of the person, how the person has conceived it first, then contemplated it, and trying to bring it and materialize the conception. And for example, the first prize, like we have, I don't know whether you have announced it or not, the Mataji. Okay.
But you can tell about the work, Mataji, please.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the concept she used, like cutting the cardboard into different pieces and assembling them together and make it like functional chariot. It's functional, and I was really surprised and astounded by the intelligence and the talent, and definitely without devotion nothing can manifest like that, sort of. And for this, like, one needs lot of absorption, as Mataji said, how absorption in the Supreme Lord and his service helps us, like, to purify our senses, mind, and intelligence. Like, absorption is using our mind. I mean, where our mind is when we conceive something and about the Supreme Lord, even if it is a painting or an art or a craft, whatever it is, we try to meditate on the Supreme Lord. Like, every sense has its sense object. Similarly, mind is the king of all the senses. All the senses give the input information to the mind, and mind is the software. And the function of the mind is to meditate. And it needs an object of meditation, object for meditation, mind. And we can see what is there a better object than the Supreme Lord Himself for the mind to meditate upon. So the name Krishna itself is attractive, all attractive. Any mind, even if it is a slightest inclination towards this Supreme Lord, gets clinged onto him, like hooked onto him. He immediately, like a magnet, he attracts the iron pieces. Like the iron pieces are attracted to the magnet. That's a natural attraction. I mean, for all the jiva souls to be attracted to the Supreme Lord, that is natural. By nature they are attracted. But in the conditioned stage, like, we are living in this material world, and it has been since time immemorial, and it has become like, sometimes in some conditions iron pieces cannot be attracted to magnet. The In some conditions, like rust, when the iron piece is rusted, there is a, like, a coat of a, or a layer which blocks the attracting force of the magnet, because inside the iron piece all the atoms are aligned, harmony, and in a firm structure. Then it is attracted to the Supreme Lord. When there is like a covering which obstructs it, that means the alignment is disturbed there. So when we align our body, our senses, gross body has these 5 Jnanendriyas and 5 Karmendriyas. And on top of that, the king of all senses, mind. If we align with these senses, mind, intelligence, with the intention, pure intention to serve the Lord, then the soul is without, it's beyond our control. We cannot stop ourselves being attracted to the Supreme Lord. So in the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna answers to Arjuna. Like Arjuna asks, which are considered to be most perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman or the unmanifested? Then Krishna answers in the next shloka. Shri Bhagavan Mayavesya mano ye mam nitya yukta upasate shraddhaya parayo petas te me yukta mata. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith, are considered by me to be most perfect. This is the Supreme Lord himself is telling. He considers those people who out of love and devotion get absorbed in his service in whichever way you can. Some may like singing, some may like designing dresses for the Supreme Lord, some may like painting, and whatever it may be, do it with love, and that is the best. That's perfection. You have already attained perfection. And eighth shloka, he also explains that Mayyeva mana adasva mayi buddhim niveshaya niveshishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshaya. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. You see, once our mind gets hooked on to the service and attracted to the Supreme Lord, automatically the intelligence starts functioning to its maximum potency and in a pure state. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt. So, and these purports, best example we can all see is Srila Prabhupada. His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I hope if you have not seen Abhay Charan series, or at least read Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita, we will get the best example how a person can be absorbed always in pleasing the Supreme Lord. And that all these purports of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, all these are the result, the fruit of that absorption of that pure devotee. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned many times, I was not writing. It is Krishna who is dictating me. I was not writing on my own. So you can understand to what extent he was absorbed. And sometimes when his disciples, when he was talking to his disciples, suddenly he would go into trance. And once he said, one disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, what are you thinking about, Srila Prabhupada? And Srila Prabhupada said, he wouldn't reveal always, but he said once to a confidential servant that I'm meditating on the lunchbox of Krishna. What Mother Yashoda sent in his lunchbox today. That means he was living in those past times, though physically he is present here in his Siddha Deha, he is there in the spiritual world and participating in the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And so this is how our absorption can take us, and what we can get through our absorption. So thank you all very much. Thank you very much, Ujjwala Radhe Mataji, for giving me this opportunity to share my heart. And thank you all very much. And it was very difficult. Please don't feel bad that every offering of yours is accepted by the Supreme Lord. So this is selection like is just to encourage you all. And please forgive me for any offenses if I have committed while speaking. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Ananga Sundari Mataji. Really, what you've told, the girl who has made that work is Sindhuja Reddy. So she's really done a beautiful work. Even when I was amazed when I saw that, how she made the Parthasarathi Krishna with ordinary cardboard. I wish actually I wanted to show all those videos of these works, but let's see if the technical issues get sorted out. We will do it today. If not, at a later date, I will post all these works. So thank you so much. So now we will go to the next phase. I invite my dear friend Lakshmi, Lakshmi Rajam. Hari Bol.
Hi, Paul. Thank you so
So
much, Mataji.
yes. So Lakshmi is going to talk something about painting for Krishna. Actually, when I first came to Krishna consciousness, I fell for the paintings. So that's my first attraction, the painting of Julan Yatra, which I saw at Hyderabad ISKCON temple. Abbots. Inside the temple hall, there was a painting of Julan Yatra of Radha and Krishna. So that was my first initial, I fell flat. So it's one of the most beautiful memories of Krishna consciousness for me. So, and I eagerly invite Lakshmi Rajam, my dear friend. She's senior to me. She's the one who pulled me from this, the pool of material existence. I was royally walking the royal road to hell, with lot of energy and enthusiasm, not knowing that road is going to lead me to hell. And she's the one who caught my hand, pulled me back, and brought me to Krishna consciousness. And I really owe my everything, my lifetime of gratitude for whatever she's been to me and she's given me. So she's an exemplary devotee, very sincere, and in any circumstance, you leave her even in, Arctic Ocean or Antarctica, she will still chant her 16 rounds and do her regular Bhagavatam reading and do her hearing, irrespective. So she can survive in any circumstance. So she's such a great inspiration for me. So I eagerly invite Mataji to please tell us something about, painting for the pleasure of the Lord. Welcome, Lakshmi Rajam Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much. It's very nice to hear that you are glorifying me, but I don't deserve all this. It's just you're very sincere, then Krishna has showed you the way. And that's why I also see that in your life, although I came first than you, but you have, eclipsed in leaps and bounds in Krishna consciousness. I'm very happy about it. And today I thank you with all my heart for giving me an opportunity to, do little service for Krishna today. And before that, I sincerely seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas who are assembled here. And so that to bless me, that I will talk something related to and I don't deviate from the parampara. So today the topic is painting. So painting, as what is actually painting? So I just opened the dictionary and saw that I can define painting to be, it's a form of art or any image that is created or with using some pigments and colors that we keep it on the paper or a canvas. So this is a simple definition of painting. And actually the painting has got a lot of meaning and hidden meaning in it. And so it conveys a lot of messages to the person who is viewing without the use of words. So simple form, we can say that a lot of things are conveyed by the painter. So without speaking or without opening his mouth. That's the importance of painting. And in our moment, Srila Prabhupada, the founder, the beloved founder Acharya, and he has focused a lot on the importance of painting. And during the initial days in when he set up the movement and everything, he was making it forward. And he thought that painting is a very vital, important tool by which for preaching and for the message of Krishna to be simply conveyed to thousands of people. This is so he chose painting to be the or to be an important tool. And so he encouraged devotees during the initial days to do different paintings of Krishna, and then pastimes related to Krishna in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam and the different Acharyas. So he encouraged different devotees to come forward and do different paintings. So actually, Prabhupada, he didn't focus on the technical aspects of painting, like, artistic, which color to use and which borders to put, which what is the style and everything. He didn't concentrate on all this. It is actually an expression of his inner vision. So a lot of things were revealed to Srila Prabhupada's heart. So this one, he wants the devotees to put into light, come in a simpler form by which many people will be attracted. So actually, painting is not not something that is given on the paper. It has got a transcendental value. And also, Srila Prabhupada said that he explained in many of his lectures. He said that actually paintings are the windows to the spiritual world. What is actually a window? So, for example, we imagine we are sitting in a closed room, and there's a small window at the corner of the room. So when we go and open that window, what will happen? So we can see what is happening on the other part of the room. So in the similar way, paintings act as a window by which they'll give us a glimpse of the spiritual world. So, and also it's also very, we think that paintings and pictures are only in the material world. It's not like that. It's one scripture written that even paintings are there in the spiritual world. So there are different kunjas. Gopis will be roaming, and they'll having nice good pastimes with Krishna. And there's kunja is something like it's a bordered kind of thing. And outside they'll be walking along with Sri Krishna, and they'll see the paintings on the walls, and on the kunja walls and everything. And all the Krishna killing Kamsa and Krishna killing Kaliya, all these were displayed on the outer walls. And one of the gopis will be asking Krishna, what is this pastime? And Krishna will explain. So that time you didn't know I went and killed Kamsa. You didn't know I went and killed Kaliya, and he will be explaining. Oh yeah, I remember. Like they will be discussing like that. And once they enter into the kunja, they'll see the different type of paintings. This time Radharani and Krishna will be there. And the most intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna are depicted in the inner walls of the kunja. And Radharani and Krishna, when they're walking, they'll be seeing all these paintings, and they'll be relishing. Or then Krishna will say, see, look, at that time, I was pressing your feet, you were very angry. And Radharani say, yeah. And they'll have a very, kind of rasa. So in this painting, not only its material world, but also they have, got a significance in the spiritual world also. And not only that, Prabhupada, in many of his, sometimes in his lectures, he mentions that these are actually a rain in the, in the drought of the mundane, mundane art. These paintings will act as like a rain. So they'll be attracting and be interesting to all the viewers. So in the same way, very famous devotee by his name, His Grace Yogeshwar Dasa, he was actually during the initial phase of Krishna consciousness, and he was a foreigner by birth, and he was very inclined to, very much attracted to art and museum, and he used to visit a lot of museums. So one day he came across the devotees and the paintings, and was very much attracted. So he interacted with the devotees and finally became a devotee. And one day he met Srila Prabhupada, and he immediately asked Srila Prabhupada, can I ask you a question? And he said, what? Then Yogeshwar Dasha will ask that, what is the meaning of painting? So Prabhupada will he becomes grave for 1 minute, and he answers that a painting is something we put things in a proper place for the best utility. So this person will not understand what is the meaning of best utility. So, but he cannot question the Srila Prabhupada. He just keeps quiet. He just asks some questions and he goes back. Later on, he will be contemplating on this word, on what is the meaning of best utility. And later, over the years, he gets the realization, which is like best utility means any work or any service that brings that performer as well as the people who are connected to it away from birth and death, and it will focus us towards the path of devotion. So painting, although it is a simple thing, but it actually paves our way to Godhead, and it will break the cycle of birth and death. So it is so potent. So we cannot take it light, and so it's paintings has got such a significance. Not only in that, in Bhagavad Gita 12.5 years, it is quoted that people who are, who are thinking about unmanifested things, or who are, have got a lot of attachment to the unmanifested or impersonal feature of the Lord, for them, the path of transcendence is troublesome. But for the people who are for people who are embodied to follow this path, it's very, very difficult. So, yeah, Prabhupada says the clear-cut difference between the Jnana Yogis and the Bhakti Yogis. For Bhakti Yogis, it's very easy. You can just, whatever is there, you have different desires. Whatever is there in your heart, you can easily, you can get it done. For example, if you want to worship a deity in the form of the deity, then you can worship the deity. That is quite natural for you. To adore somebody or to worship somebody, it is quite natural for a living entity. So in that way, the Acha Vigraha has come into being. And Prabhupada says that Acha Vigraha is not a, ordinary thing made of material elements. So similarly, Acha Vigraha is also equivalent to a painting, or oil paint, or a picture, anything like that. So they all come on an absolute plane. And Prabhupada also gives us another very vivid example, saying that if you put letters in the post box in a very authorized thing, then definitely it will reach the destination. But if you put the same letter in any other box, it will not go. Similarly, although this painting is just made of colors and everything, pigments coming from this material world, but if you focus your attention and everything, devotion towards this, definitely it will pay the way to transcendence or spirituality. So not only that, in our movement, it is also said that the way that we have to approach to any painting is with full of devotion and surrender. So if you're viewing a picture with this attitude, after considerable and consistent hearing, if you view a picture of any picture of Krishna comes in beautiful, beautiful pictures. He doesn't like to be alone. He like different pastimes with the peacocks, with the cows, with the cowherd boys, everybody is very attractive. So if you hear properly from the authority, and with that vision you see with a lot of devotion and surrender, definitely you will try to, over a period of time, you will try to develop a sort of attachment to him. At first, attraction will be there, and then you will develop attachment, and then from attachment you are going to this thing will lead us to the path of Ragananga Bhakti. So it is like a escalator like that. It will take us to Ragananga Bhakti stage. So that is the significance of painting. And I would like to conclude saying that Prabhupada, there are different disciples of Srila Prabhupada who has contributed in this line by doing beautiful, beautiful paintings for the society. And one important devotee is Her Grace Jadurani Devidasi, and I think she has she's actually graduated in art and art and music, no, art and paintings in New York School. And then at the age of 19, she became a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. And then she about more than 200 paintings she has drawn and contributed to the society. And now for till date, over the decades, we see that there are more than 1,000 paintings in ISKCON. And many people, if you go through the lives, or if you see how people had came to Krishna consciousness, as you already mentioned that you are also attracted by the painting. So many devotees have joined the movement with this simple painting. So I think this is the most powerful tool that Srila Prabhupada has, very sweetly and he simply given us. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. If I deviated anything or if I'm spoken any unwanted things, kindly forgive me. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. It's really so beautifully explained how these paintings are present even in the spiritual world, and how all when Krishna and with his associates are, when they're walking through, they actually are seeing the paintings all around. Amazing. It's very nice to hear all that. And truly, I'm sure for all of us here, one of our major sources of initial powerful attraction towards the movement are the beautiful paintings. They really have a very three-dimensional effect. Seriously, it is, what Mataji was telling. They're just not mere mixing of colors and bringing out forms. They're the internal vision of Srila Prabhupada. What he's seeing within his heart, he's explaining to his disciples, and they are bringing a form to that. So they're very, very special. Thank you so much. And I now I heartily invite Her Grace Anuradha Priya Mataji. So Mataji is, I think most of our Ascent girls also know Anuradha Priya Mataji. She is a very dynamic personality, a great leader.
Oh, Mataji.
Mataji comes from Gachibauli Satsang. I can never, you know, speak enough of the glories of Mataji. She's such a source of inspiration. She's such a warm friend, and super dynamic in her services. It's very difficult to catch up with her pace. And she's an amazing cook and multi-talented. Mataji does a lot of things together. And one thing I really love about Mataji is she loves to give, and she loves to see devotees happy. When I went to her place, Mataji was like showing her DP jewelry, the bangles and all, and I started liking them, and Mataji started giving me all that jewelry. So she's so giving in nature, and I really like that, about Mataji. Mataji, please tell us something about this most important aspect, cooking. I mean, I've learned cooking very late in my life, and I always regret that. It's a great one shot many birds. So cooking is one such talent. With if you can really do that well, you have conquered a lot of people with one go. So please kindly enlighten us thoroughly about cooking for Krishna. Heartily welcome you for this show.
Thank you, Ujjwali Radhe Mataji. I truly don't deserve all the praises you have told, but I will try to really work upon it one day. Surely, with your blessings, I will be able to match what all you told me. So yeah, the today's write-up, what you have given me about offering food to Krishna is a huge, vast topic. And I was thinking, from where should I start and how should I start? And then I was thinking, okay, let's see what we do when, if your son's birthday or your anniversary or some special moment in our life, what do we do? How do we reciprocate with them? So what do we do? We just cook their favorite food, and then we offer it to them. And we can see, how if you offer something with love to them, they're very happy. And more so important, it is not about our offering, but the offering of what he likes the most. So he is pleased when we offer what he likes the most. It's the same principle with Krishna too. The same principle we have to give it to Krishna. So when we cook to Krishna, we should see that, we should offer him what he likes. And why Krishna? Why only Krishna? The app title you have given, Samsiddhir Haritoshanam, the activity of everything, what all activities we are doing, we should please Krishna. And during the practice of our Krishna consciousness, we all say and we strive to do that, we have to please Krishna. But why Krishna? Why Krishna? What is the answer? I was thinking, why Krishna? Then I have understood what is that thing we mostly look for in this material world. Nothing but happiness, the bliss. So why Krishna? So I was thinking that why Krishna? Because Krishna is a reservoir of all the happiness. Nobody else can give this happiness. And what happiness you're talking about? It is a spiritualized happiness. The happiness which we derive in this material world is temporary. And you know what Prabhupada says? A happiness is a gap between two miseries. But the spiritual happiness or the bliss which we desire, which we get from Krishna, is so much that you cannot imagine. It's eternal, and that is what we are, and that is what we seek. Why? As a soul, spirit soul, we would want to love somebody and take somebody. We need a reciprocation. And what is that constant reciprocation which we need to do, and but which we fulfills our eternal nature, is nothing but to serve Krishna and please Krishna. Samsiddhir Haritoshanam. So I was thinking, okay, by doing all the activities, you all have done all the activities to please Krishna. What is it? It is nothing but Bhakti Yoga. It's the topmost way, The practice of Bhakti Yoga is a topmost way which actually pleases Krishna. So why we need to please Krishna? As I told you, he's a reservoir of all happiness, and Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he's coming. He's the only person who comes with us as Paramatma in our heart, life after life as a friend. So you tell me why we should not please Krishna? We should please Krishna. We can offer him our love in the form of cooking, and cooking is such a potent and important aspect of Krishna consciousness. Okay, what happens when Krishna is happy? Now let's see. We say that we want to please Krishna, but now let me ask you, what happens when Krishna is pleased? What happens when Krishna is pleased? He bestows his mercy. And you know what happens when Krishna bestows your mercy? What happens? Become more happy. That happiness is a very spiritual ecstasy which we desire. And more so important, he is the one which takes us away from the karma, the karmic reaction, and he's the only person who can liberate us. And what happens when we please Krishna? We become immune. So in these COVID times, we are trying to immune ourselves by using lot of therapies, this kada, this thing. But to immune ourselves with the karmic reactions, what we should do? We should please Krishna and work in Bhakti Yoga with him. So that is the only way. So as you all know that Ujjwala Radhi Mataji keeps telling that we should do things which are favorable in our spiritual life. Okay, so not offering food, please mind you, not offering food is an impediment in our spiritual life. So how important is not only to cook but to offer it to Krishna? Why? Because Krishna is the only person who can liberate us from the karmic reactions, whether it is auspicious or whether it is inauspicious. Only Krishna can remove from the sinful reactions or good reactions from the activity which we are doing. And understand, Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says is a very simple for people who want to follow bhakti in a simple way. It is simple, but people who want to follow bhakti thinking that it is complex, it is complex. But see how merciful our Krishna is. He's saying patram pushpam phalam toyam. What is he saying? If one offers me a leaf, a flower, a toyam, water in this context, with love and devotion, I will accept it. See, all these things are given by Krishna, and we are giving it back to him as a gratitude. And more so, he's also telling, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, whatever austerities you perform, do it as an offering to me. What happens? By doing that, we will be able to liberate ourselves from this material bondage. So cooking also is a very most important and potent aspect in our life. So there are so many things which we do in our bhakti yoga which are favorable for us to progress in Krishna consciousness. So cooking for the Lord and honoring the prasad is also one of the main key activities for us to progress in the path of spiritual life. So let me see what Srila Prabhupada has told about this cooking. So everybody just please meditate on this one statement of Prabhupada, because this one statement you all have done in a small service, in the form of painting, in form of cooking, in doing deity decoration, altar decoration. Just always meditate on this one statement of Prabhupada, which actually helped me to take up any menial service. I'll just read slowly. Please meditate. When a devotee with all his heart and soul serves Krishna, dresses him in nice garments, gives him flower, bogha, Krishna smiles. If you get Krishna to smile upon you, your life's goal is fulfilled. Such an important and simple way Prabhupada is telling, but it's a very potent form of bhakti for us to fulfill. What did he say? After many, many lifetimes, we get an opportunity. Actually, His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, if we are given any menial service, we should understand, after many, many millions of births, we have got one opportunity to serve Krishna. See, so if you are cutting the vegetable, if you are peeling a potato, understand that after millions of births, you are getting this opportunity, rare opportunity to cook for Krishna. And cooking for Krishna is such a intimate activity, right? Other services which we do to please Krishna, but this is a personal way of reciprocating with Krishna. So, and our Krishna conscious movement starts in kitchen and ends in kitchen, Prabhupada said. Why? Because ours is not a dry philosophy. Just that, we just talk pravachan and we say, no, no, go. No. Our entire Krishna conscious runs on chanting and prasad distribution. Prabhupada said, simply by distributing prasad and sankirtana, the whole world becomes peaceful and prosperous. And he said, this Hare Krishna movement, chanting, dancing, and prasad. What is prasad? Prasad is nothing but remnants of food which the Lord has offered. What is it? It's nothing but its mercy. It's very important for our movement. Why? Because this is a very where the movement actually begins. How many of you have gone to satsangs or to ISKCON temples just for prasad? I'll tell you, it is me. Because prasad is just not an ordinary food. The spiritualized mercy of Krishna. Therefore, God realization first will happen with tongue. So last year we have attended a Vaishnavi retreat called Sevan Mukhe Hi Jivyadu, means service using tongue. Two aspects we learned for the entire week, prasad and chanting. And such that service to the Lord in the form of eating prasad and chanting is a very potent form of God realization, and especially for this Krishna conscious process. So, how important is this? Eating the remnants of Krishna, and more so important is how to offer food to Krishna. So let's meditate. See, Yashoda, she loves Krishna, and how minute in minuscule details she sees in Vrindavan. That Nanda Maharaj had 9 lakh cows. Out of Yashoda chose 900 cows, and out of 900 cows, she picked 9 cows of Pushpagandha cows, and she used to milk them with her own hands. She loves Krishna so much that she wants to perform the best of the services with all her abilities and capabilities to please Krishna. That Yashoda is asking Radharani to cook. Why? What is it? See, it's just that Yashoda cannot cook for Krishna. No, she can cook for Krishna. But understand in which rasa is she reciprocating with Krishna. She's dealing with Vatsalya rasa. As a mother wants best for her child. You want best for your children, right? So Yashoda got to know that Radharani was benedicted by Durvasa Muni. She was benedicted by Durvasa Muni that if Radharani cooks, what happens? No, she's the best cook in Braja. On top of that, her food gives long life and it will rejuvenate the body. So Yashoda always is in anxiety in the morning because usually in the morning Lord Krishna takes along with all the gopas to graze the cows and then he comes back. So she's always worried. Oh, my Kana doesn't have slippers. My Kana doesn't eat well. He rushes because I don't know. Even if I've sent some snacks and sweet meats, all his friends would have eaten, and Kana did not eat anything. So she's always thinking about Krishna's life, Krishna's longevity, and then rejuvenating her body. She wants best of the cooks. So every day she would call Radharani to cook food. So let's see what Radharani cooked. Radharani cooked what Krishna liked the most. It's not that Radharani is Gandharvika. She's a mistress of all the 64 arts. Okay, and she can. It's not that there is no one art which Radharani cannot excel. I mean, if you want to know who is the one person who excelled in all the 64 arts and who's pleasing to Krishna is nothing but Radharani. So that Radharani who cooks for Krishna, what does she see? She sees that when I'm cooking to Krishna, what is the most important aspect? The important aspect is that I can cook this. I'm good at it. No, she doesn't see all this. She sees what Krishna likes most. What will please Krishna? So that is the consciousness we should have when we cook for Krishna. So let's see what Krishna likes to eat. So most of them have very wonderfully have cooked nice bhoga to Krishna and offered it with love. So now let's see what Krishna sees. Krishna likes. So if you go to Govinda Lilamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami very nicely describes what Krishna likes and how Yashoda is in anxiety. Every morning she is anxiety. She sends Kundalata to call Radharani to cook the food and then to offer to Krishna. And very, she's always in tension. She sees whether all the flavors in the dish are properly thick and whether all the condensed milk are carefully cooked, because that milk products, if you are negligent, it burns and it gives a very odd aroma. So she's very in anxiety whether all these gopis are cooking very much for Krishna in a nice way. She wants to balance the food. So Prabhupada also told, when you're cooking for Krishna, it has to be in the first class way. That means you should see that all the flavors are balanced in it. Just because I like to eat tikka, I like sweet, I like hot, I like sour, I want to cook that to Krishna. No, no, that's not the right proper consciousness. Or whatever you're cooking for Krishna should have a balanced balanced flavor. And more so important, we should see what Krishna likes, and we should always understand what Yashoda and Radharani is offering to Krishna. See, the entire sadhana bhakti we are practicing is to meditate on Krishna Leela. So whenever you are cooking, it's very important for us to understand or meditate on this Leela of Yashoda and Radharani cooking in Vrindavan. So let's see what Krishna likes. Krishna likes milk sweets. Krishna likes sweet meats which are made. Krishna likes lot of fragrant drinks, and there are some fried items which Krishna likes. There are some recipes like Amrita Keli, Karpura Keli, there are different laddus. And this all laddus along with sweets, Yashoda makes sure that some kind of herb or Ayurveda is inserted into it, so that that gives strength to Krishna. So there are a lot of sugar pies which cook. If you want, I'll ask Ujjwala Radhamalji to send the article where the details of what Radharani cooks for Krishna in the morning is given in Govinda Lilamrita. And you know how Krishna takes lunch in Bandirvan, on the banks of Yamuna. If you see just before Brahma Vimohan Leela in Bhagavatam, there is a very nice description of how Krishna has lunch with his forest friends. I will ask Ujjwala Radhamataji to explain later. So how important is it that in that most intimate relationship Krishna has, because there are a lot of gopas who actually cook food and they ask their moms to cook for Krishna, and they bring it to give it to Krishna. So that the entire activity of Krishna honoring lunch, prasad with all the cowherd boys is very pleasing, and we should always meditate on it. So it's a very beautiful pastime. I don't want to speak now with interest of time. We should see, how Yashoda would cook and send all the preparations with Lalita Sakhi to the place where Krishna would have lunch, with all his friends. And then we should always meditate how Krishna would have his lunch with his friends very intimately. And then always think that, what is pleasing to Krishna. Krishna doesn't want us to see whether it is laddu or whether it is kheer or payasa or cake or anything. No, it is with what mood or what consciousness we are cooking. It's nothing but love and devotion. That's the only thing. So there are many things I can speak on cooking for Krishna, about how Krishna has Krishna also has very small lunches. There are snack breaks, how just like there's one formal lunch, and then one there is formal dinner in the evening along with his father. And very beautifully, Lord of Govinda Lilamrita explains how Krishna would reciprocate when his father is there, and how with his friends he would reciprocate. So it's not that this cooking aspect is what do you say is we cannot undermine. So when I went to this Vaishnavi retreat, over the time when we are practicing, we give more importance to sadhana, our chanting, which we should give, and our staying in association of devotees, reading Bhagavatam, but we give least importance to eating prasad. Because why? Because it has become regular. We have become more familiar. Familiarity breeds contempt. So when we are eating, honoring prasad, we take it for granted. So it's very important when you cook for Krishna, the consciousness also should be there. And when you're eating that prasad of Krishna, the consciousness also should be there to honor prasad. Why? Because that's a mercy of Krishna. So let me briefly give you what is a consciousness which is required while cooking for Krishna. So first of all, we should always meditate upon our Guru. Why? Because whatever activities we are doing in this bhakti and sadhana bhakti, it should always be in the mood of assisting our Guru. And what is our Guru? Our Guru is also assisting in the service of the servants of Radharani. So it is always very important whenever you enter into the kitchen, you should meditate that you are assisting your Guru in service of cooking. And you should always meditate upon Radharani's cooking for Krishna. With what pleasure, with what devotion, with what love she is cooking. See, we cannot mimic Radharani, but we can take inspiration from that. You know what? When we think about Krishna, Krishna's activities, his pastimes, that meditation is enough for us to have a very spiritual and transcendental consciousness. That is what actually we require for us to cook. So always understand when you are cooking that Krishna is the enjoyer, he is the Rasaraj. And whatever boga you are cooking is for his pleasure and his choice. Nothing else, nothing else. You should not compromise. See, I am obese, I can't put too much ghee. No, why? You are cooking for Krishna. If there is too much ghee, eat honor, take a little bit of piece. I think it's very, there is no salt. All these things are, or do you say, these are mundane qualities or mundane traits or mundane characters which we have and which are embedded deep into our nature. See, habits become our second nature. So all these consciousness are impediments in our spiritual path, and these are impediments for us to properly do service to Krishna in the form of cooking. So Prabhupada said Boga should be first class, no compromise. And we always say that we should eat simple when we say that things which we need to do to favor in our progress of Krishna consciousness, we say that we should not eat too much. But Prabhupada also said that whenever you're cooking for the Lord specifically, you eat simple, but don't give Lord simple food. Why? If Krishna sees what you give, he will not see what you give. He sees what you are holding behind. So if you are able to give him best of the food, but you're not doing it out of your nature, out of your habits, or out of this thing, that is not pleasing to Krishna. And Prabhupada never liked it. He said, if you are a rich person, cook richly, Prasad. If you're a simple person, if you're a pauper, still cook in the way you see all the Goswamis, If you've seen Sanatana Goswami, he would just cook batis and he would just, without salt, he would offer to, what is it, Radha, Madan Mohan. Why? What is it? But Madan Mohan accepted it. Why? Because he did it with love and that consciousness to please Krishna. Samsit Haritoshna.
Voice.
Okay? That's how we should do. So we should always try to cook for Krishna in the consciousness which is pleasing to Krishna. And I'll just just take 2-3 minutes. I will tell you the tips to maintain the sanctity of Krishna, of the kitchen. So Krishna consciousness starts in kitchen and ends in kitchen. So the kitchen should always be clean and it should always be cleaned each time after cooking.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, I'm done, Mataji. Okay.
I think Mataji will be back shortly.
Yes, Mataji. Just 2 minutes and I'm done. Okay. So always have separate plate and bowls for offering boga to Krishna. Okay. Always understand that Krishna is 16 years old boy. So whenever you are giving food to Krishna, don't give it in a small plate, small bowl or anything. See that how a 16 years old boy would eat. That must be placed on the plate of Krishna. Okay. Thank you so much, Mataji. This topic is a very huge topic, but I could only just give few glimpses. And I saw all your cooking, Mataji. Everybody very enthusiastically have pleased Krishna with all your cooking. So thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Haribol Mataji, can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, Mataji. Yes, Mataji. Thank you very much.
So it's a very
It's
huge
been
topic. I know I have not
pleasure
done
to know
justice. I mean,
what
I can write
actually
pages
is to
and
cook
tell.
for the Lord. I mean, we do it regularly on a daily basis, but seldom do we understand what it is actually to cook for the Lord, because we're just so caught up in the mundane daily routine that we hardly make an effort to transcend the regular, uh, workings of the mind and rise above the platform to actually cook in that consciousness.
Yeah,
So, thank you so
every
much.
day, just like in Vrindavan Leela, every day it's like, Yashoda Mai calls Radharani. Every day in the morning she calls for Radharani. It's not that, that Yashoda has, because Yashoda was a queen of Vrindavan. She could have just ordered once Radharani, but every day the Leela of Krishna under the potency of Yoga Maya would be fresh. So every day when you enter kitchen, freshly tune your mind, that consciousness, so that you can cook for him for that particular day in that consciousness. So as you said, we should make an effort to tune our mind so that we can properly cook for Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. All we can do is make the effort, try to make the effort to rise above and, bring the delta X in our consciousness to really serve in that mode and please, Krishna. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all the
Thank you,
beautiful
Mataji.
things you
If
have
I
told
have,
us, you have
yeah, thank
shared
you
with
so much.
us. Thank you so
Yeah,
much. Hare Krishna. The whole session, it's the results. So I would like to invite Her Grace Sakhi Ragdika Mataji. Mataji is, so true to her name, Sakhi. Maharaj has given that, she's so friendly. She's really so friendly and so warm. And like, you feel very at home whenever you're with Mataji. And she herself, actually, when this whole contest was it started up, Mataji herself called me and asked, Ujjwala De Mataji, do you need some help? I mean, this kind of friendly nature, it really melted the stone like heart of mine also. And Mataji is very sweet, very loving, and very friendly. And she has herself, volunteered to do some service. And though she's herself so busy and she herself has so many services at home and on the net, she gives various classes and all. Still, she spared her time for us. So I heartily invite Mataji, Her Grace Sakhi Radhika Mataji. And Mataji, please tell us.
Hare Krishna, am I audible? Ujjwala Radhe Mataji, I cannot hear you actually.
Haribol,
Hari
Sakhi
bol.
Radhika Mataji.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, Mataji, I can hear you.
Okay, okay.
Yes, Mataji, you're audible. Please continue.
Yeah, okay. Hare Krishna, and I'm really very thankful for allowing me to do some service over here. Actually, thank you so much, Mataji, for accepting my service actually. And then actually today when I was hearing everyone, I was actually feeling like doing a Govardhan Parikrama. When we are doing parikrama, actually each and every part of Govardhan is so relishing, and it's actually equally relishing. So I could actually, when first Karuna Radhika Mataji spoke, and then Namrata Mataji spoke, then we had Anand Sundari Mataji, Lakshmi Mataji, then Anuradha Priya Mataji. It was like covering each and every part of Govardhan, which was equally so informative and so relishing. And then finally we come to the Antim Padav. Okay, when we are doing Govardhan Parikrama and we reach the Antim Padav, So the enthusiasm, it actually increases million folds because we feel, oh, finally we have completed the parikrama. And then now over here, since everyone is waiting for the results, so I feel actually like we have reached the Antim Padav and now everyone's heart is beating up to hear the results. And everyone's ears have come up to their microphones and to their phone calls. I can imagine that actually, but I'm not delaying much and not taking much of time. Before announcing the results, I would just like to share one pastime of the Supreme
It's
Lord.
breaking.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me now? Okay. So I would just like to share one pastime for the pleasure of everyone. So it's like when Krishna had an accidental cut on his finger. We all know this pastime actually. And all the queens, they were running here and there to not understanding actually what to do. So that time Draupadi was standing beside and she immediately tore off her sari and she tied to Krishna's finger. So that time, actually, Krishna said that one day I will surely reciprocate for your response in the form of love to me. And we all know that wonderful response was actually shown by Krishna in the Kuru Sabha when Draupadi needed Krishna the most in a most difficult time. And Krishna, just for a little part of the sari which she gave to Krishna, Krishna actually gave her unlimited sari, and it was just flowing. The sari was actually flowing, showing Krishna's unlimited love for Draupadi. So, whatever we have done today, actually, all those who have participated, they have participated so wonderfully, and each and everyone's endeavor was actually shown in that participation. So, we all can understand that whatever endeavor we have put in, it will never ever go in vain, and Krishna will surely reciprocate in our lives in some form or the other, and that surety we should have. And it is also, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Neha Vikrama Nashosti Pratyavayo na Vidhiyate. Swalpam apyasya dharmasa trayate mahato bhayat. Which actually means that even a little endeavor which is done for the pleasure of the Lord, it can actually save us from the greatest danger. So whatever endeavors everyone has put, we have to understand that since we have done it for the Supreme Lord, for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord, it can actually never go in vain. And this is just the starting. Actually, all those who have participated, it is only the starting. From now,
దాని
we can
తర్వాత యాడ్ చేద్దు
actually
కానీ
do more and more. If we are cooking, then we can just go on cooking eternally for the Supreme Lord. If we have started painting, then we can actually go on painting for the Lord's pleasure. We can do unlimited paintings and will be surely reciprocated in some form or the other. If we are singing, if we have done some craft work, or if we have written something for the Lord, it is actually so wonderful that Krishna will surely reciprocate because he is Bhavagrahi Janardana. Means he actually understands our intentions and the love behind whatever we have done. So without any delay, I would just like to announce the results. And it's not about result, it's about the best. Means we came up with certain names who have actually given their best, and once again I would like to say that each and every one has given their best. But to just call out some names, I would just like to announce the results now. So first category, cooking. So in cooking, we have Vaishnavi, and Vaishnavi has been selected for a wonderful enthusiasm. Generally, we have Anuradha Priya Mataji. She spoke so wonderfully about cooking, and we all have got now wonderful tips also. And she has given wonderful ideas and wonderful knowledge about cooking. So one thing what I've understood is, apart from salt or spices and apart from sugar or dry fruits, the most important ingredient what we have to add is enthusiasm. And this enthusiasm was wonderfully shown by Vaishnavi, and so we have Vaishnavi selected over here. Another thing what Anuradha Priya Mataji covered was Krishna likes milk sweets. And so we have Shravya over here who has prepared wonderful rasmalai for the Supreme Lord. And since milk sweet is very dear to Krishna, we have Shravya's name over here. And the another name is Anshu. she has given this, she has prepared this beetroot halwa, and it was very wonderfully presented. So we have these three names in the cooking category, so we can understand that we require enthusiasm. It should be wonderfully presented for the Lord, and obviously one of the wonderful favorites, that is milk sweet. Okay. The second category what we have come over here is singing. So Namrata Mataji, thank you so much for speaking so wonderfully on the singing category. And we have understood that we have to sing through our heart, and it should be so heart touching. We can understand that even though if we don't sing with wonderful ragas, if we don't know wonderful ragas, no problem. But if we can really touch the heart of Krishna with our pure heart, then it will be really wonderful singing. And over here, first we have Hindi category. In Hindi, we have Krishna Surabhi, Hari Bol, Krishna Surabhi, and she has been selected because it was really very melodious and it was in sync. The tune was very much in sync and it was really very soulful, means it was really very heart touching. So we have Krishna Surabhi, and then we have Hansini. In case of Hansini, the lyrics was actually very difficult, but she sang it with very ease and catching up the right beats and the right tune. So congratulations to Krishna Surabhi and Hansini. And okay, and one more thing, congratulations to Vaishnavi, Shravya, and Anshu. And then we have singing category in Telugu. So we have two names over here. The first one is Pratyusha Mataji. Congratulations, Mataji. And we have selected Pratyusha Mataji because there was a lot of clarity in voice and the raga was also very melodious. And then we have Venkata Lakshmi Garu. Okay, Mataji, congratulations, because it was sung with a lot of devotion and it was very melodiously sung. Thank you so much, Mataji. Congratulations once again. Then we come to painting, Mataji. Okay, painting category. Thank you so much, Lakshmi Mataji. You have covered so beautifully each and every aspect which is required in painting and how we can actually please the Supreme Lord with our paintings. So all those who have participated in paintings, we can keep those points in our mind, and we can go on painting for the pleasure of the Lord. So we have three names over here. Nitya Vaibhavi. Nitya Vaibhavi, because of the excellent detailing, each and every detail was covered very excellently, and the form was also very perfect. So congratulations, Nitya Vaibhavi. Then we have Ashwini. The theme which Ashwini selected was very beautiful, very thoughtful. The presentation was really very wonderful, Ashwini. Congratulations. Then we have Rashmita Vaddadi. It was really very beautiful. The features were very beautifully covered of Lord Krishna with fine details. So congratulations to all of you all in painting category. Then we have craft work. Thank you, really, Anand Sundari Mataji, for actually enlightening us. Actually, for myself, I never took any interest in craft work. My kids, they keep on doing something or the other things in craft, and I say, okay, wonderful. But I didn't knew that it's actually so much important for to do something for Krishna. Actually, thank you so much for enlightening us in that aspect. So we over here as um Anand Sundari Mataji has actually revealed one name, and that is very true. She was actually very impressed, and Anand Sundari Mataji couldn't hold herself, and the name is Sindhuja Reddy. It's right, and we selected Sindhuja Reddy because of the imagination and the technical knowledge, the creativity which she has put in, and it is really very marvelous. Actually, I would like to request Ujjwala Radha Mataji to please bring up all these activities so that we all can actually, everyone in the group can actually see all these things. This is just a humble request, Ujjwala Radha Mataji. And then we have Shrija for her creative skills and hard work. Congratulations to both. And Kavya for her wonderful efforts and creativity. So we have three in the craft work category. Congratulations to all the three. And the last is essay writing. So thank you so much, Karuna Radhika Mataji, for enlightening us for the words which we should use and the way we should write. Actually, if we are writing for Krishna, then how perfect and how wonderful it should be. Thank you so much for enlightening us in that aspect. So we have two names over here. The first is Ruchira. Ruchira for her good presentation, and it actually appeared her feelings, whatever feelings she had actually put in for the Supreme Lord, they actually appeared very original in her writings. And the best was her resolve to make Krishna as a center of life. So that's why her name is here. And then we have Punyashri. She speaks of Krishna opulences in her own words. The words which she spoke, they were her own words she spoke in a very wonderful way, and she has glorified the Supreme Lord in the context of her life. So thank you so much all once again, and everyone please remember that whatever activities you participated, please continue with that participation forever, and we may, Ujjwala Radha Mataji may be conducting more presentations and more activities in future. So all of you all keep participating and keep pleasing the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because he is Bhavagrai Janardana, and he reciprocates to each and every one in his own unique way. So thank you all so much, and thank you so much, Ujjwala Radhe Mataji, for giving me this service. Thank you once again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Sakiradhika Mataji, for announcing the winners. So, and I thank all the judges for your gracious and precious, valuable time, and for going through the work and telling us what actually is the most appealing part of everybody's presentation. And so today, actually, we are going to make a whole video of everybody's offering, and we will soon going to, I mean, we are soon going to release the video of all your craft work, artwork, essay writing, singing. Everything is going to be compiled into one beautiful video, and we're going to very soon post it. So keep waiting. And for all the winners, we would like to know your address, because the gifts will soon reach you. But if somebody is in USA, you should forgive us. And whenever we meet you in person, we are going to give you the gifts. And for those who are in India, kindly give us your postal address so that your gifts will reach you very soon. And so we will meet again next week, continuing with our sessions. Thank you all for your eager participation and enthusiastic work. Thank you a lot. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.